Survivor season is back. I am so damn excited. I don't know about you guys, but I'm here for this.
Typically, yeah. Typically when Big Brother and Survivor kind of overlap, I'm already pre-exhausted, but we're dealing with some really boring shit on Big Brother right now. So I'm thrilled. Let's talk Survivor.
Yeah, we don't need to do Big Brother at all right now. Welcome to the latest episode of Wicked Unscripted, where we have unscripted conversations about some of the most popular reality shows on television. My name is Abigail.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are holding our told you I'd do it. We're holding our Survivor 47 draft today, and we have two guests with us who will be participating, Sammy and Allie. So I'm going to pass this off to Sarah very quickly. She's going to explain the rules of how this goes, and then we're going to jump right in and kind of give our analysis. So with that, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited to have Sammy and Allie with us and us all to ride the Survivor crazy train together. We are doing schoolyard pick style. I put our names into a random picker thing, and it gave us an order. We're going to go in that order 4 times. And at the very end, because I have first pick, Sammy has second pick, we're going to have 2 left over. So what we decided will be fun to do with the 2 remaining draft picks is that Abigail and Allie, Abigail and Allie will.
Sounds like a Disney Channel show.
Yeah, it does. The A's will pick one to collectively both have on both of their drafts, and then Sammy and I will get who's left over. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. And then as we go through the draft, we'll talk about each of the people and all of our first impressions of them. Allie, how up on Survivor? How long have you been watching, or will this be your first season, or?
No, so I was an OG Survivor watcher. Obviously, Survivor started, and then Big Brother started right after that, and I was a child at that time. But my family, we all watched Survivor, and I watched probably until 2009 or 10. Kind of took it. I felt like it lost its spark at some point.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
And so we just kind of slowly, one by one, all the family members just stopped watching. And then, other than when Beast Mode Cowboy was on, of course I watched for the 2 weeks that he was on, different things like that. I would watch, I would always keep up with Instagram posts and Reddit and whatever. And then 2 seasons ago, so 45, I actually watched all the way through, and that's when I got back into it. And I felt like it was a good time to restart watching. So
got very lucky with that season. That season was fantastic.
It was great. And last season was great too.
So good. That's why I'm excited for this season, because we're on such a great trajectory right now. What's going to come next?
Don't jinx it.
Knocking on all the wood.
And then Sammy, I know, is a newbie to the Survivor universe, and I'm so excited to be on this journey with you. What kind of prep have you done for today?
Well, I didn't want to be over-educated, so I'm coming in with vibes only, pretty much. I did look through all the bios, and I have seen a few seasons of Survivor, but I think I'm going to try to watch it from the beginning after this Big Brother season. But I'm coming at this competitively. I have a list and I have reasonings, and I think I'm going to win.
Okay. I love the confidence. I love the energy.
Sarah, why don't you tell us, since we're talking about experience, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into Survivor and how much you've been watching?
Yeah, so I remember, I'm showing my age here, but I remember when Survivor first came out. I remember thinking, what a really cool concept, because reality TV just wasn't very existent at the time. And I thought that was really, really cool. Fell off of it because once Big Brother started, I remember it was like, oh, Survivor, but with air conditioning, that's my jam. And then fell off for a while. And then, so then when I got into covering Big Brother and really got into Big Brother, and through Abigail, even Survivor, you just kind of get entrenched. These universes are so collided. And so I watched a season here and I'd watch some clips here. I've been a Rob Cesternino fan for over 10 years now. And so I went and watched his season, and then we got to interview him for the 20th anniversary, was it? 20th anniversary of his season. So that was like my first experience with like OG Survivor. I've watched like as the seasons have come out since like live on TV 44, maybe 43, but I think 44.
Right.
Yeah, 45. I was like in the trenches, like, oh, I know this shit now. Like I'm an expert. I'm not, but in my head. So yeah, I love it, and it just gets better and better. I do watch like when the old OG seasons, and I went back and watched Cerie's season post Traders. And so it is kind of hard since that's fresh in my brain when I watch the new seasons where I'm like, oh, but I wish they did this. I wish this would. The comps drive me nuts, and you are going to hear me bitch about the comps all season long.
We do it every year.
Every year, where we get an obstacle course and ended with a puzzle. It's just like take a shot every episode. There's an obstacle course ending with a puzzle, and it just drives me nuts. But other than that, like everything else is great.
That's great.
So which season? You said Cerie. She's on like 12, 16. Which one was it?
Yes, 12, 16, 20.
I watched her first season.
And so was she 14 also?
Because I wanted to see the one where she's just like, I just wanted to get off the couch. And like, that's the Cerie I wanted to watch.
Yeah,
so,
that's a great season. Is it Game Changers?
Oh, yeah, 34. That's the other one that she did.
Sorry. Yeah.
You got the 4. It's fine.
As soon as you said 34, I was like, oh, yeah.
34. I mean, and spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen it, you can skip ahead about 90 seconds. But I mean, Advantage Mageddon just tears my heart out every damn time. Like, I can't watch it. It makes me cry. Like,
it pisses me off. I haven't even seen that season in its entirety, and I know about Advantage Mageddon. That's insanity.
Made me mad. But anyway.
But all that to say, I've been watching and following and in this universe, I'm shedding, sorry, universe long enough to where I, like, as much as it pains me because I have, like, people-y picks, like, people I vibe with, I want to hang out with, I want to know, and I want to root for them. Out of this particular season, I have first pick, and I feel with that comes great responsibility. So I went into these interviews, and I watched the interviews, and I watched the bio because I've learned something over the last few years. They kind of pre-edit Survivor winners. And so I kind of was watching, like, who is getting the winner edit and all of this. And so that's going to lead me into my very first pick, which is...
We're just jumping in it. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go right in it.
Did y'all see that seamless segue?
Oh my God. I'm so proud of you. So yes.
So I have first pick, and this pick is based on the edits. It is based on the promo packages. It is based on the quotes. I feel like who got the biggest winner Survivor edit is Kyle, and I'm going to take Kyle.
Damn you. That's a great pick, though. He was high up on my list, too. That's why I say that.
He's like the construction worker.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was on my list because I agree with you that I thought he got a winner's edit, but I wasn't quite sure if it was just due to actually winning or if it was due to, like, underdog, hey, I really need the money. Her name's, she's going to be so mad if she ever sees this and knows that her name lost me. Traders. Oh my gosh. What's her name?
Parvati?
Sandra.
Like
Sandra, yes.
I feel like, because Sandra, like, really needed the money. Like, if you've seen her like entrance video where she submitted it, she's like, yeah, I just need the money. I wasn't sure if it was like he was getting that edit because they were going to really push that for him or if he actually won.
And the baby, like, oh my God, what a cute little nuggets. And he's being so cute. I feel like, and I'm just reading my notes here, like my gut instinct, my interview notes were that he just seems like down to earth. I feel like people are going to trust him. Mm-hmm. I think that he's going to like make a lot of connections and have a great social game that's going to carry him through like a lot of things. I feel like he is also on a tribe that is going to do very, very well. That I think they're going to be the majority tribe going into like merge. So, yeah, I really like
Yeah, I like him. He gave me instant JT vibes. I don't know if you guys are familiar with JT, but like just that was the aura. And like I'm talking JT's first season on Token Teens when everybody just fawned over him. But like he also mentioned that he vibes with Jesse from season 43, and I can see it. And that's why I think this is a really good pick, because I can really, including the edit on top of everything, it just seems like a really good recipe for success. In my opinion, he at least makes the finale episode with the final 6. I mean, I do think he could really still win this, but who knows? I don't even think I have a technical winner pick yet. But anyway,
Sammy, do you have any thoughts on Kyle?
No.
No notes. Okay.
Well,
No.
too bad, because it's your turn to pick.
Vibes?
He was low on my list. The vibes
Okay.
didn't go. I don't know.
Well, with
All
that,
right, well,
let's move
Sammy,
on to
you're up
Sammy.
next.
So one of the reasons I didn't watch any of what you did or anything like that is because I tend to overthink these things.
Fair.
So I just read the bios, and that is why my first pick is Aisha Welsh.
Oh no,
There's gonna be so mad.
So
I knew that was. Oh no!
Yeah, have fun with
Get
Kyle.
Here we go.
I love her.
I adore Aisha.
If you just showed me her name and her photo right here, I would have picked her just based off of that.
Yeah, right.
I think my biases would kick in because she is absolutely one of my all-time favorite RHAP podcasters. She's a treat. Just I love everything about her.
And she's a Texas girl too, Sarah.
I will say this though. And for those who know, this picture of her thumb is showing.
Huh?
Y'all don't know about this? Abigail, you don't know about this?
I do.
Okay. Her thumb is showing. That's a thing. That is a thing, according to Bryce, Bryson Wynn. Bryce, he predicts how the season's going to go based on these photos. And his big thing is I don't want to see thumbs. It's like, you can't win Survivor if your thumb is showing.
Yep.
No, I win. This was a good pick.
But I just feel like Asia should know that. Asia listens to Bryson. Bryson Wynn can't do this is the look on Rob RHAP. So I don't know.
Maybe she wants to be like Tucker and break the curse,
Maybe.
I noticed, so I read one of the articles, I believe it was in Parade, where people gave their first impressions without knowing anybody's actual names. And she got some mixed reviews. So what she did, from what I could gather, she was somebody that I believe people pegged as someone who was kind of emotionally flat when they were kind of interacting, not even interacting, but when they were around each other. And a lot of people are like, if you smiled at me, if you kind of gave me a good vibe, even if we didn't have a conversation, if you gave me good vibes, it gave me good vibes. I was kind of warming up, but there were a couple people, and I believe her and Teeny were the people. Now, they didn't know their names, so this is what I am assuming based on what I read. I believe she's one of the people that were kind of gave not coldness at all, but she just didn't give a lot of any emotion. She seemed just very much like she didn't want to seem that way. So I don't know if that'll play into first impressions when we get on the island, but I don't really think so. I think her charisma is really going to overtake a lot of
charisma, uniqueness, talent.
I just had to bring it up because I did think it was interesting. So I was like, that would never be how I would have picked out Aisha. And also Andy and Teeny are the two people who actually have recognized her. So she already has people who know her on the island.
Uh-oh.
That's going to be fun. Not necessarily a bad thing. Just
we've seen it that work out well, and we've seen it not work out well. So you never know.
She just has to play it to her advantage.
And she could just honestly be stoic, similar, I feel, to T-Core this season on Big Brother. She may initially come off as
maybe a few less but
really? Set out my drink this early in the episode. I think that's a great pick. Anything else you want to add, Sammy, before I go on to mine?
No, I just am very proud of my pick.
I'm proud for you. That's a really
Thank
good
you. Thank you.
All right, so Sammy and Sarah did not take my number one on the list, so I am
Okay.
happy that I get to pick Andy. Super strong edit already. Like he's acknowledged that he gives Austin vibes. I grabbed Austin vibes off of him before anything. Like he's been training himself for a decade, he says. He compares himself to Yule, which is one of my favorite winners. He's super confident in his ability to charm and disarm. And so I don't know, it seems like a good package to go with the first pick. To be fair, my first pick on this season of Big Brother was Joseph and then Tucker. So I mean, my judgment for first picks is not always the best. But I really like the vibes. I'm really
can we talk about your first pick last season? You want to remind everybody who your first pick last season was?
Was it Kenzie?
It was Jelinski, babes.
Oh, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was worse. But Kenzie was either my second or third, so I was real close.
Yeah, you were close. Right. But you so confidently for your first pick, you're like dying to see if I stole it, and you're like, "Oh, thank God you didn't get Jelinski," and I'm like, "Oh, but," and you're like, "No, he's gonna be." You said he's gonna be iconic. He was just in a very different way than I think you were expecting.
That's an understatement, I think.
For our new Survivor watchers or someone who doesn't know who Jelinski is, Jelinski was a big character last season who went out very early on, and he gave us the several that he thought
we're going to be hearing Survivor 40 several all year because
several instead of he thought several means 7.
Oh my God.
And they trolled him for it the whole season. Like several episode, like they would put it in the name. They trolled Jelinski lived in infamy the entire season.
The final several, like when they got down to 7, it's like, you are now part of the final 7. They were like, final several. And it was like, oh, I love it. Oh, so much. So we'll probably hear that a lot this year.
Initial thoughts about Andy. I think he's going to do great. By the way, I think he's friends with Bryce and Wynn.
Wouldn't surprise me. He's also not technically a Boston boy, but he went to school in Boston. So I'll always take whatever I can get with that.
Yeah, he's a friend in that of theirs in that circle. He has some connections there, which surprises me that I see his thumb, but it's just shocking to me since that's the Bryce and Wynn thing. Yeah, it's right there. There it is. It's right there. It's just all you had to do was under it, but whatever. I think that is so funny, by the way. Like I didn't know about that lore until about a month ago, and now I'm just so invested in it.
It's so funny.
But yeah, I think here's my thing with Andy is that I actually have an X next to him on my list because I feel like he's going to do really, really well, but I think it's going to be too well, and I think that they're going to target him very early on.
I wrote Icarus next to him. Because that's the vibe I got.
Amy and I are vibing. We're on the same wavelength.
I know. We should have done like S versus A's and just R.
But I really do like him. I just think he's gonna be an immediate standout as a target.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm curious to see what his social game's gonna look like. That was a big question mark for me. Not that I don't think he will play a good one, but like, how is it going to fare further down the line? Any other thoughts about him before we hop over to Allie for pick number 4?
Allie, did you have any thoughts on Andy?
He was low on my list. I agree with you that I just, to be exact, he was number 15 on my list.
Oh, wow.
Everyone in order, and he was really low. So
he's like,
he just wasn't his clips that I've seen. I agree. He might be an early target, and I think he's just going to do too much. That's what I think. Do too much
definitely be it.
Too soon and be a target.
I like it. Well, who's your pick since we're going on to pick number 4?
So I will just preface this by saying I strongly debated. Was I going to go with who I just liked for my first pick? Was I going to go with a strong player for my first pick? or was I going to go with my personality choice? Because I have three. I have who I think is strong, who I really like, and who is a personality pick. And you guys have not picked any of those three. So now I have to pick between my three. And I think I'm going to go with who I just like, just to solidify the game. I'm going with Teeny. I'm going with Teeny.
Oh, this is my next pick.
And that's why I'm happy I picked Teeny.
All right, tell us, what do you like?
First of all, immediately when I saw Teeny's image, I was like, I want them. I want them so hard. Like, look at these vibes.
I know.
Look at the ripped jean shorts. I'm excited.
Teeny,
I'm so excited. And I also feel like they are not going to be a target where it's like nobody's going to want to be the one to vote Teeny out. That's how I feel. That's what I think. So,
Teeny gives me Evie vibes. Mega super fan. I loved the geeking out level of super fan. Loved all the answers. I feel like she's super fans are really tough. Super fans are very hard because they could get too into it or know too much to overthink things and not vibe as much with the tribe. But she did say in her interview, like, I liked her, that she went to an all-girls school but works in a male-dominated industry, and that she's just been able to adapt in social game, and she's been playing socially her whole life. And so I really, really did like that. I feel like in my gut, I was going to pick Teeny next anyway, but I feel like in my gut, Teeny is the kind of player that would like leave with an idol in their pocket.
I don't think so.
Teeny was actually further down on my list.
Maybe no one leaves with an idol in their pocket this year after the shit show of last year. I feel like everyone might be wait, they didn't see that though. They recorded this. Oh, see, it'll be different. Yeah. So they recorded this. The last season that this cat group saw was 45. So they didn't see 46. So we're not going to get that idol paranoia until next season.
Right, exactly. So yeah, Teeny was actually further down on my list, not because I didn't get good vibes, but because from what I was gathering, there's two things that pushed her down further on my list. The first one was, like Aisha, Teeny was somebody that did not give people good like the best vibes when they were like in the pregame, when they got to kind of know each other. Like Aisha, they were very much like, she didn't really give off anything. The vibe just wasn't quite there preseason. I also went and looked at their tribe, and I'm just not necessarily sure how they will vibe. I'm not saying they won't, but like their tribe is Saul, Rome, Aisha, Keyshawn, and Genevieve, and it's the Chaos tribe from what I'm gathering. And I mean, maybe Teeny will thrive through the chaos, but I can't necessarily gauge right now where I think they're gonna sit in the tribe, and so that's just kind of where I was unsure and knocked them further down on my list because I was nervous. But that's just what I love that they're super passionate about the game. Like, that's the best part.
They give me like himbo vibes, like golden retriever, like dad energy almost, kind of, and like a very
golden retriever energy for sure.
Yeah, so I had them actually pretty high on my list, mostly for, I think, social aspects. So we'll see. I'm kind of annoyed about that pick, but I also didn't think I was going to get them. So
I agree that with Abigail that I think it's not probable that Teeny is going to win this game, but I had to pick my person I really loved so much. I'm so sorry. I should have.
Oh, it happens.
I'm going to pick my person that I really loved.
Yeah.
So much. And yeah.
Great. All right, we are off to round 2. So we're going to, just as a quick reminder, we are going schoolyard style pick. So we are not snaking. We're going to go right back up to Sarah. So Sarah has the next pick. And tell me, girl, who are we going with?
I'm going with Tiana.
Ooh, great pick. Love this pick.
That was my pick.
All right, tell us why.
I think well-rounded player honestly gives me a lot of D vibes.
Yep.
I feel like she's gonna vibe with everyone. I feel like she's gonna do really, really well. I think this is my Tiffany. This is my in my gut. She's gonna kick ass at the challenges. It makes some really strong connections. Probably be the shot caller for a minute on blue. Yeah, I all the vibes.
I love that. And she's the first Native Hawaiian to compete on the show. I think it's interesting that we're getting her and Chemo back to back.
I agree.
Chemo, for people who may not know, Chemo is a contestant on Big Brother 26 right now, and they just cast their first Native Hawaiian. I think it's very interesting. Clearly, this this initiative of the 50% BIPOC is very much helping with these kinds of opportunities. And it makes me happy because we have so much more diversity when it comes to the kinds of people that we're getting on the show. Like, she was actually an alternate for 45, which is the season that D won. Mm-hmm. Like, could you imagine those two together? That'd be wild. And that was also the season that 3 of the first 4 people essentially quit. But she was like, whatever, I got my opportunity anyway.
I remember that. I didn't watch it season, but I heard about that a lot.
Glad she got her opportunity after that. And she doesn't seem like bitter about it at all. She was just like, oh, just that was me. I was the alternate that people were talking about. But what are you gonna do?
It's fine. Okay, Allie, Sammy, y'all have anything?
Yeah, I'm bummed you took this one because I really debated on using my first pick for her, and now I'm kind of regretting. Well, because I
for Asia.
Well, because I mostly was like, would anyone have said, like, would Aisha had gotten back around to me, or stand by
we can negotiate a trade, so
I'm gonna go with my vibes.
Trades must happen by the end of the episode. Once the episode ends, it's locked.
We're locked in.
I'm not doing it. But,
one of the things that sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say again, it was a vibe situation. I do have a strategy here, but I think Sarah ruined it for me.
I have one extra note on her. She and Sue Smee, or Smee, however you pronounce her last name, her and Sue both have backgrounds in flying and piloting. And I wonder, since they're, I believe, going to be on the same tribe to start, I wonder if that's going to be something that they bond over. And I put money on yes, but be curious to see how that kind of plays into their social games. Mm-hmm. That's my only note.
Allie, do you have any thoughts on Tiana?
I really like her. Likability factor is absolutely there. I agree with the Tiffany thing. She wasn't high on my list, but she was kind of in the middle.
Same.
I won't say I didn't want to pick her because I did, but I just felt like since I was going for like a teeny, then I kind of balance that out. So, but I really do like her. And I was also going to mention that she's a Native Hawaiian, and like Abigail said, I thought it was interesting that CBS was like, okay, back-to-back Native Hawaiians. So it makes me feel like they've realized that was a group that they haven't touched on before. And it makes me feel like CBS is really paying attention to what we've been saying for all these years. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, me too. Okay, let's move on to the next pick, which is Sammy. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with my Michigan native, Rachel Lamont.
Great. I like this pick. It's an interesting pick.
She's from Dexter, 20 minutes away from me. I like how she basically implied that her dream alliance is a bunch of minions. Respect that. So yeah, she's my third pick because Sarah took my second one.
Okay.
Womp womp. What were some of the things that like that really like stuck out to you when you were kind of going through her bio?
The fact that she is from Michigan.
Love a homegirl.
Pretty much it. I mean, she's from Dexter. I border Dexter. Like, it's just you gotta rep, my Southeast Michigan vibe.
Yeah,
I would have been so upset if someone else got her.
She admittedly has word vomit, so I'll be interested to see how that plays out. But she also called herself like a Goldilocks. Like she was like, well, I'm not weak, but I'm not like super physical. I think that's an interesting way to kind of enter the game. I'm curious to see how that'll play out for her.
Look, it was really just the location situation for me. But again, there's a reasoning behind my madness.
Sure, Sammy.
I think, and this is just like my overall gut feelings projections. I feel like Red Tribe is going to be at Tribal Council all the time in the beginning, and Blue Tribe is going to be the one winning all the shit in the beginning. So I feel like everyone on the yellow, which is Rachel, I feel like have a good shot at making it to March. But we probably won't see or know much about them until then. And that's just it's just how.
Yeah.
Definitely. What do you think, Allie?
I agree with Sarah that I personally think that her tribe is going to be disenfranchised when I was looking through the list. So she wasn't at the top of my list because I just really felt like her tribe was just going to be like bam, 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 back to back for the first couple of weeks. I do like her. I do think that she might be a persuasive player. I see her having that in her to probably convince at least the females in her tribe. I feel like she might be able to clock people, and she might be able to convince others that she's right. So,
I love that. Anything else before we move on to the next one?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Great. Well, I already brought up my next pick. I am absolutely going with Sue for my next pick. Sue so I'm going to go back to the parade article when people were talking about the vibes they got from people preseason. I'd say at least a third of the people were like, I want to align with this woman. She seems like a badass. She seems like she would be such a great ally. Like, she's like older, but she's like really cool. And just like everybody who talked about her had nothing but positive things to say pre-game. She's actually a self-described badass, so I love that. And I don't know. It seems like from like Sarah mentioned at the beginning, like when we're looking at edits, her edit seems so strong for at least a really good run. Again, can't necessarily say that I would think she would win, but if they let her get to the end, I fear she could really run away with this because of how much people already vibe with her. But I can't really tell what her gameplay is going to look like. That was kind of one of my hesitations. Clearly I didn't have many because she's this high up on my list. But that was one of my major ones, is I couldn't get necessarily a vibe of how she'd play. But like, I feel like the edit seems to say she'll do somewhat well. So that's where I'm coming from.
First of all, damn girl. Them guns. I mean, the legs. Like, I want to know what demonic entity you signed your soul over to so that you can look that fucking good at that age. And because where's the pen? And she just damn girl. However, I think she's adorable. I think that she is going to have a great social game. But my caveat to that is that I could see her quickly being targeted by her own tribe, just because she's not going to be an asset. Like, maybe she's not such an asset on the group challenges or the like obstacle puzzle side of things. I feel like the endurance one, like she, could pull a Maria and just like shock the hell out of all of us. But I feel like this archetype that we've seen over the last couple years, like the Maria, Julie, right? The older mom. The older.
Oh, yes. I know who you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
I was literally just thinking about her too, so I don't know why I was like, huh?
Yeah. So like, I feel like those women made it so far that like it might be seen as a threat. So like, she's a threat to us socially, and she's not helping us in the challenges. So that might be a thing. That's the only thing I worry about with Sue. But
I think she'll be pretty good. She seems physically like she'll fare fairly well in the
I
challenges.
feel like if she comes off too much if her badassery just exudes too much, it might make her an early target, easy target at that.
I think part of where I weighed that out was how many people were just eager to work with her and just instantly liked her without even knowing her. That's kind of why I think that she could really use that to her advantage. And she seems like she knows that can be something. But I think that's a really good point. Could definitely run me 2 early picks if I'm not correct on that. So
as like a big brother person, I kind of feel like that's almost a red flag that everybody wanted to work with her originally. Because it reminds me of when this season everyone wanted to work with Angela originally because she was giving the like cool mom vibes, like this is a giant sleepover kind of vibes. And I think Sue is going to be really entertaining, and I think she's going to cool mom her way far, but I don't think she's going to win.
I mean, look where Angela is now.
Yeah.
I think Angela will win Big Brother, but that's a whole nother conversation.
So she was actually my number
work with her doesn't mean
Sarah just
good,
took my number 2 pick. So
wait, what?
He was my number 2 pick. You just took my number 2
pick.
And the reason is because sorry, I said Sarah, I meant to say Abby. Abby was my number 2 pick. And the reason she was my number 2 pick is because I feel like in the seasons that I've watched, at least, moms and older people sometimes, in Survivor at least, they tend to make it far. And I think that it's because they're not a threat. And then what happens is they get too far, and then people start scrambling, and they're like, oh, shoot, like if we let this person go too far, you know, they're going to, like, the jury's going to give them the money. And then they start scrambling like, oh, we've got to get them out. We saw that on 45 with, what's her name?
Are you thinking Carolyn?
Was that her name? The mom?
The one who, there was a couple moms, but she was the one that made it to the final 3.
Oh, yeah. Carolyn.
Yeah.
We love Carolyn.
Yeah. Actually, we saw that with her. She wasn't necessarily like a comp beast or anything, but like they let her get too far, and everyone realized it, and everyone was like, wow, we really don't want to vote her out because we like her. We feel like she deserves it. And oh, shoot, if we don't do that, then she's going to run away with our money. So I think that could be a similar situation with Sue, as long as she doesn't annoy people. I felt like people might want to work with her initially, but I got a vibe, like an underlying vibe, that she might annoy some people on her tribe.
I definitely think she's going to piss some people off. I'm curious to see what the dynamic's going to be.
I think she'll be eccentric, and I think that doesn't always...
How old is she?
59.
Damn, girl.
Is she
if I looked like that at 59, I would.
Is she our oldest player on Survivor ever?
No, but she is, I believe, one of the oldest people to be on. What's her face? Ruby.
No, if I look like that at 59, you couldn't pay me to put clothes on. Ever.
Like, I'm in a bikini the whole time.
The whole time. If that.
All right. Any other thoughts before we move on to Allie's next pick? Nope. No. Great. All right, Allie, go ahead.
Okay, since you just took my number 2 pick, I will go with my number 3 pick. And that is going to be TK Foster.
Ooh, damn it.
Interesting.
That was my next one.
So first of all, his tribe.
Allie, I feel like you keep taking... Yeah, Allie, you took Teeny. See, you're right in front of me. Yeah. And I'm lined up. I'm like next to go. And then you keep taking...
I feel like
you're the number 1 pick, Sarah. You had control.
But I feel like TK's tribe is the strongest tribe, so I wanted to make sure I at least picked 1 or 2 on his tribe. First of all, that was one of my first reasonings. My second reasoning was I do feel like his position, I think he's like a athletic marketing person. So the fact that he's in athletic marketing lets me think that he's going to do well in competitions potentially, because you don't just go into athletic marketing unless you've like played sports in the past, not usually at least. So I think he's going to be athletic. I think the marketing factor, he's going to know how to talk to people. He's going to be likable. I think he just has that smile about him that, like, you just feel like he's like your big brother, little brother, your favorite cousin. That's how I feel about him. I don't know if he'll win, but I do think he'll make it far. So, and also he's from Washington, D.C., and I just kind of felt like, I don't know, something about Washington, D.C. stood out to me, and I don't know why. I was like, well, that's an interesting place to be from. Like, when I saw him, I was thinking Atlanta, Georgia. Like, and then when I saw D.C., I was like, oh, okay, like, let's go with it. So,
yeah.
I think he's going to be a finalist.
Yeah. I don't know if he'll win, but I do think he will be, he'll be on finale night, I think.
I have him like top 8. I don't know about finale night, but I really do. I agree that I think he's going to go really, really far.
Same.
I mean, his charisma is something else, like incredible.
That was a good pick.
Great pick.
That was a really good pick.
His story actually too is that he nearly died from a kidney disease in high school, and it pretty much ended his dreams of being in the NFL. So that's why he went into sports marketing and all that good stuff. And I think that's he's got a big story that I think would work really well on the show in terms of the edit. So he was also sketched out by the bugs early on. Sometimes that's not always a good indicator, but sometimes that just means that they're just geeking out. Because I remember seeing Hannah's interview and she was like, oh my God, the bugs. And I was like, please don't let that be a bad indicator. And then she quit. So, but I don't mean that. I think that that's necessarily the case. But yeah. All right. Any other thoughts before we go to Sarah's pick? I can already see what Sarah's picked. All right. Who you going with? Tell us.
I'm so nervous about this one. I'm so nervous.
Hold on, I gotta see one more face. Like,
Sarah and I have been on the same wavelength. I'm nervous that she's gonna pick my next pick.
I'm okay as long as I get one of my next 3. Ooh. Okay, Sierra. Interesting. Tell us why.
My notes that I had from Sierra is that she reminded me from season 45, Julie. And it took me forever to figure out who she was reminding me of, like the vibes I was getting, and I had to go back and look at the last couple seasons cast. But like, yes, her. Okay, yeah, it was Julie from 45. I think she's gonna do well socially. I feel like she's gonna be one of those players that's gonna be quietly, never in trouble, never stand out, and make it really, really far in the game. I could see her not necessarily winning an immunity or finding an immunity idol, but like being close enough with the person that has one. I don't know why. That's just one of those weird Sarah gut feelings. Yeah, this is vibes and guts. I have 2 players that have not been picked yet that are just like my notes are just vibes and gut feelings that I feel like they're just going to be the surprising middle, making it to the end, making it at least to jury.
Yeah, there was a certain level of charisma that when I was watching her videos that really struck me. Like, I just don't know, like, there's such a gut vibe with her. Like, that's why I like this pick, because there was just something about it that I was like, this screams somebody who goes really deep into the game. Could definitely be a bad read on my part, but like there was something about it that was, for lack of a better word, special. So I'm curious.
Yeah, it was between her and one other. And then now, like, I think all of my stars, like I have one more. I have one more with a star that like somebody I would like want. And after that, it's all like X's, like, fuck, no, I don't want them. But
any thoughts from Sammy or Allie about her?
I actually have a quick question. How many Islanders are there?
18.
18.
Okay, cool. I thought I was missing one. All right, never mind.
Nah, you're good.
She was actually
I was missing one. We haven't picked her yet, but we haven't talked about her yet. But like, I was missing one for the longest time. So
yeah. she was high on my list too for like all the reasons. I don't know. She was like one I wasn't excited about having on my list just because I feel like this could go one way or the other so quick.
Yeah.
But it was a good pull. It definitely was.
What about you?
Did we ever
Allie?
say her name? I'm sorry. I put her picture up. Sierra. I don't think we ever spoke her name out loud. For people who are listening and not watching the video, we're talking about Sierra.
Jesus Christ. Sorry, we're just inept.
I'm just over here like looking through my notes I have on my phone.
Whoopsie. But yeah, what do you think, Allie?
She was low for me. Like I said earlier, Andy was 15, she was 14. So I don't know. I don't think I was indifferent about her.
Understandable. Well, if we have no other thoughts on Sierra, then we can go to Sammy's next pick. Sammy, this is your third pick. Who are you going to go with?
I'm so excited that this person is still available. I almost really regretted picking Rachel first, and that is Annika Dar.
Ah, damn, she was really high for me too. I love that pick.
She was the one I needed to go and like look at her face to get like a vibe before I picked Sierra, because it was down between the two of them.
You just made my next pick so much harder. You bitch.
Yeah, I think she's competitive. I think she's fierce. I love that, you know, she basically said it was her instinct to go on the show. And she has a great like backstory. I had to look it up, and it was the wildfires. At first I thought it was the flood, but her family surviving the wildfires and how that like changed her whole perspective. I'm so glad I got this pick.
Yeah, she described herself as exuberant, curious, and calculated, like highlighting the calculated. And it's like,
yeah, and she looks up to like Sandra and Parvati, which are like two of the only Survivor people I know. So I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I like her.
Thank you.
Any thoughts from Sarah or Allie about her?
She was number 16 for me, so
why is that?
No,
I liked her, but I was indifferent, you know.
Yeah.
My notes are that she makes it to merge, but she's one of the first boots out post merge.
She kind of gives me Venus vibes in not every way, but like in terms of like
not as abrasive.
No, I think a much different, almost like
I don't see her
Venus
thumbs
and Jim pushed together.
No thumbs.
Nope, that's a good sign.
So
I like that. Any other thoughts before we move on? Definitely blowing through some of these next picks. Doing well.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh shit, I have to write that down.
All right, Abigail.
Sorry, totally got distracted by that incredible pick. Okay, I'm between two people, and I think I am actually going to skip the person I had next and move that person down. I'm going to go with Gabe.
Oh, okay.
I'm
to the point where now, like, it's like I'm just holding my breath.
Oh, same here, because it's like, don't take it, don't take it. And as I mentioned, there's like some people that I'm like, I would personally prefer to like not select if I had the choice, because I don't feel confident in their game. So it's going to be lots of held breaths as we move forward. But yeah, so I have Gabe.
I find this so interesting that you picked him.
It's like, really
fascinating to me.
A big part. You know me, I go off of edit. I think I've said it every time I had a pick. So but when it comes down to he's like I want to build a legacy. One of his big things is I'm not here to make friends, and I feel like people have gotten away from that. I don't think that necessarily bodes well for him, but I just enjoy the way that he wants to boldly play the game. He said he is really good at selling himself. I mean, he has his own talk show. So he has a level of charisma that I enjoy. I think a lot of these people have good charisma though. So it's kind of hard to figure out who's going to have the upper hand when it comes to that. But I do like
charisma a lot in this podcast. And I know that because my head and the way my like neurospiciness works is anytime I have the word charisma, I have to finish it with uniqueness and talent. Because of RuPaul's Drag Race. so every time the word charisma is saying, just know that those other two words are popping in my head.
He's somebody, though, I do want to be clear. I recognize he could just be, because he plays so hard, somebody that doesn't win the game. I just, like I said, based on the edit and how they're like, I want to do something, I want to start a legacy. Who knows? The legacy could still involve him getting kicked off the show. But it's just interesting, and I like to vibe with people who are here to make big moves. I think sometimes I get a little suckered into that.
I'm really glad that you said that, though, because that's exactly why I find this so interesting that you picked him, because we did not learn any lessons, Miss Abigail, when we picked Jelinski. But
that's not a Jelinski. I definitely resent
all
that.
The Jelinski vibes from him, but not in the exact same way. In the way that, like, I feel he's going to be messy as shit, and I feel like he is going to get the facepalm edit.
So fair. It's totally true. But I have to go. My gut. You know how I operate. This not out of my character to go with these kinds of players. Ugh.
Yeah, which this is hilarious to me. But my notes for him were like Jelinski vibes.
Really?
Yeah, I put Jelinski vibes. Editors to poke at, like, meaning like the editors will like find a way to like poke at it, and then messy AF.
I totally agree with messy AF. That's why I live for the pick. Yeah, it's a risky pick. I had two people I was between. Probably gonna regret not taking them, so we'll see where they fall on the rest of the list. But yeah, I guess I'm going with Gabe.
He was low on mine. I was so indifferent.
Last.
I love this. I'm just going.
We are just kidding on everyone you pick. Everyone you pick, we're like, they are terrible, Abby.
When you said
well, I
Gabe,
won last year, so
like
there
we go.
Who picked Kenzie last year? Who picked Kenzie?
All right, listen.
Yeah, but y'all haven't played me yet.
She was in really hot water. Kenzie got lucky. She got lucky.
But so then, if she was in hot water and she got lucky, why are we going to say that Gabe is automatically written out if he's going to be in?
I'm sorry, and I want to preface that. Let me just time out. Kenzie played an incredible game, and I'm so happy she won. I'm saying those early days.
Yep.
She got lucky though. Her end game, incredible. Her end game, awesome. Here for it, proud of it. Pre-merge though, she like, if it hadn't been for the injury, I mean, whoo. Okay. Well, we had a medevac, and
I think there wasn't a decision when that happened, so we don't necessarily know how that was going to swing. We don't. They wanted it to seem a certain way, I think, because of the winner edit that she was about.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Oh man. Okay. So wait, Abigail, you picked Gabe.
So we're Allie's next pick.
All right.
It's just my seat for this next pick, actually. I'm
so curious because now we're all holding our breath at this point because there's so many things that are going to swing one way or the other.
I know. I'm nervous.
Okay.
All right, Allie.
I'm so excited. I'm on the edge of my seat. Okay. I am picking Soul.
Ah, damn it. That's
my God.
I almost picked that person.
Are y'all fucking serious?
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
The vibes.
He is a medical device sales rep, but he also is a professional poker player.
Yep.
And as a big poker fan,
I love
I
poker
am
players.
hoping for a Vanessa Russo edit, a Vanessa Russo play. I am really pulling for him. I thought one of you all would pick him, so I actually put him as number 4
I almost picked him over Gabe. I should have done it, damn it.
You should have, Abigail.
My decision making is bad.
So once I saw that he was a poker player, I was like, okay. I also saw that wherever he's from, I forget where he's from. He is from
Oklahoma.
And
he's a Sooners guy.
And he his community, he was like the only Korean growing up, and I felt like he would have a really good edit for that. Yeah. And I think he'll be like a humble player, but I think he's gonna play like he plays poker. I'm hoping he's won like, I think it said like 200K total.
Yeah,
last
I do love poker players.
Like I said, as soon as I saw that he was a poker player, I went Vanessa, and I was like, I got to.
That's good.
So I think that he'll be a little shisty, and I think somebody's gonna figure it out. So I think he'll be in danger mid season. I think he's gonna start being in danger, but I think he might be able to persuade and coast under the radar until about mid season. Maybe merger is when I think he could be in trouble. But
I think merge, he could run into trouble depending on what alliances he has formed there. But I really like that pick. That
love
it's a good one. It's a really good one.
I was literally thinking, that's why I literally put him 4 because I was like, somebody's gonna get him. But then when you guys did it, I was like,
I can't believe I did that. I'm not even kidding. I literally looked at my list, saw his name, and was like, I just don't know. There's something about Gabe. And so I went with Gabe, and I can't believe I fucking did that. Damn it.
God. My number 5 pick is wild, so I hope I don't think
y'all take my next pick. I'll be so sad. I'm praying that none of you guys have picked up on this person because I want them so bad.
So Sammy, you agree with the Vanessa Russo thing?
Yeah, Vanessa Russo is like one of my favorite Big Brother house guests of all time. So, mad respect. I loved him. But Abby, I have a question.
What?
So you said earlier that there's an Islander you absolutely did not want. Has someone picked them yet?
Nope.
Okay, interesting.
Nope, the person is still on the list, and I'm getting nervous.
I'm thinking it might be my number 5. I think my number 5 might be, but we'll see when we get there.
We'll see. I'm curious. So we are in our final single selection round before we move on to our dual selection round. This is where I think we're going to hold our breath even more. This is going to get sketchy. So we'll start with Sarah once again, and I'm dying to know who you pick.
I'm picking Sam.
Oh,
interesting. Let's hear why.
I feel like Sam got a really good edit. I feel like he's got a long timer's edit. I think he is going to be a well-rounded player. I feel like good social game, but I also feel like strong competition game. He reminded me of Jake. I got Jake vibes.
I feel that.
Even some Owen in there. What were my other notes? Just likable, great vibes. Again, he's on the Yellow Tribe. I feel like we're not going to see much of Yellow Tribe for a while. And then if and when Yellow Tribe does have a tribal council pre-merge, or before merge swap, or before tribe swap, he's not gonna be like, he'll be the top of his tribe. So I definitely see him post merge. I could see him going for a long time in this game. So he is one of those ones I can see like maybe in the top 5.
Yeah.
Nice.
It kind of took me by surprise that he was so artsy. Not in a bad way. It's just like how you shouldn't judge a book by its cover when you can. Mm-hmm. I know that's kind of what we're doing now, but I think he's a really interesting player. A lot of people pre-game were like, this could be somebody that I could use as a shield. Like, he was picked out real easy as somebody that could physically guard people in the game. So I'm curious to see how that plays out once they start really getting to know him more. He's an interesting person. I like that pick.
It was my backup pick. So
okay.
I did get my 4th pick, but it is a good one. And I almost picked him just because his name is Sam and like, hello.
Yes.
But yeah, he was my backup. Yeah.
So my reasoning for not picking him initially was solely the tribe that he's on. I'm just really nervous about Gata. I really think that's Yellow, right? Yeah. I really think that he is just going to be disenfranchised due to the tribe that he's on. I think he might be one of the ones that isn't picked off of his tribe, depending on how his social game goes. But I think he has a strong possibility of getting a hidden immunity idol, though. For some reason,
he didn't want one.
Oh, what?
Well, he said he didn't. He said he didn't necessarily want one because they apparently seem to be cursed right now. He's like, I might just have to lean. Well, he didn't write it off though, but he was like, I don't know if I should. And he was like, I think I should lean a little bit more on winning an individual immunities. And I was like, that's a risk. That's an interesting risk to take. That's why the only reason he fell so far in my draft order, because I was like, that's a really ballsy way to play post-merge. Just rely on yourself winning individual immunities, because that doesn't necessarily fare well. But I do really like him. I think he's super fun. Does not necessarily fit the perfect mold for like an NFL reporter, so I kind of like that. It's really interesting. He's cool.
Yeah.
Anybody else with any final thoughts before we go on to the next pick? Alrighty, Sam. This is your last pick before we go to the joint round.
Sweet. This is probably my least excited pick. But I want to explain my rationale. I've only seen like 2 full seasons of Survivor. So I came into this with being like, I love reality TV. And right now it's the year of women. So I made sure to choose only women Islanders, which means my last one is Carolyn Vidmar.
Dang!
Fuck you! I love you.
Yeah, she was also on my list. Yeah,
she was the person I was about.
The ADHD queen.
Damn it! I should have picked her over fucking Gabe. Damn it.
Yeah,
love it though. Love it for you. I think she's a great pick. But tell me more about why you liked her.
So I do like her, but the one thing I am worried about is I worry about her social game, because she says that she really struggles with those things and that she's kind of overcoming her ADHD and things like that. So her confidence level isn't as high as I would want my pick to be. I tend to go for a lot more who I think would be dominant, really confident players. But I don't know. It's just the vibe. Like, she gives me Girl Next Door meets Chaos kind of vibes, you know? Like, you won't see her coming.
Emily from 45, which I think is huge, because she reminds me of Emily.
That's what I was going to say.
That's why I was like, damn. That's why I think it's a great pick. She compared herself to Emily, Dee, and Tori, and I'm like, that's a trio. That's quite a trio.
Yeah, I'm going for like the strong women this season for sure.
Love that. And she's been watching the show for 2+ decades, so she knows her shit.
Yeah,
apparently. Any other thoughts on her?
I really liked her. Unexplainable. I feel like she's going to be around a while. Yeah, I just got good vibes from her. So I'm excited to see. I feel like we're going to get some really fun confessionals from her.
Yeah, I do too.
Agreed.
I think she's going to be a blast. Okay, so it's my pick, my last pick.
All right, just to recap, we have
we only have 4 people left. We have Kishan, Rome, John, and Genevieve.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm back between 2 people, and I don't want to make a mistake. I'm gonna go with Kishan.
Oh man,
I really like the vibe. There's just, I don't know, there's like a little spark I get when I watch him in his videos. There's something that I really, really enjoy. Kind of gives, like, he was comparing himself to Omar a little bit. I kind of like that. Like, there's just a little bit of, like, one of my notes was he considers himself, quote, a well-planned, cautious, and articulate person. And I think that can really bode well for somebody in this game, because, but he also said he can be spontaneous at times, which I think can be a double-edged sword. It can definitely help him in the game when he needs it, but it can also potentially hinder him, just why he fell a little bit further on my list. But he also seems to have a really incredible level of patience. So yeah, I think that's why I could have gone with a much more chaotic pick for my last one. I think this is my only super stable pick of this draft. So I'm excited to see how he does.
So I think I like him. I just really hope he doesn't disclose his actual job.
Yeah.
I think ER doctor is going to be. I just find that in Survivor, people think about the money a lot more than in Big Brother, and it might just be because I don't know why it is, but I find that doctors and lawyers become easy targets because they're like, they don't.
You don't need the money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that him and what is it, Genevieve. Yes, him and because she's an attorney.
Yes.
I'm hoping that the two of them just decide not. I've also seen, like we saw in 45, we had one lawyer say that she was just a law clerk, and one lawyer admit that he was a lawyer, and we saw, the two ends of that spectrum. So you never know, but I think his saving grace will be not disclosing that he's a doctor, and as long as he doesn't do that, I think. That might be why you said that he has patience. That might be why, because of his profession, he's learned how to work under pressure, on the go, but also not be too crazy.
Absolutely. Genevieve, full disclosure, was the person that I was weighing taking. Such a chaos pick. And yeah. I know we'll get to her casting stuff in a minute, but like part of it was I actually liked that she wasn't going to tell people. She doesn't plan to tell people that she's a lawyer. And she kind of gave me Liz vibes, where it was like she's crazy chaotic, but it seems like in like Nora vibes. I don't know if you guys know Nora, but like it's.
Wait, did someone just pick her?
No. I'm just explaining. Okay. She was the person that I was in between picking.
Oh, okay.
And I ultimately went with a more stable pick, not because of her, because I've already picked some really chaotic players. I can't run that risk with every player. And I think he was just a good pick, but whoever gets her, I think is going to be really like, they are in a good spot for, I don't know, just winning, I guess. All right. Final pick of this round. And then after this, Allie and I will collaborate on our final pick, leaving Sarah and Sammy with whoever is left. So Allie, who are you going with? I'm dying to know.
I think I'm picking your absolute crapshoot last pick that you hope that.
Please do it. Please do it.
John Lovett.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is why I think he's going out. He's either, there's two options for this man. He's either going out week 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Or he's making it to the end. Those are the two choices.
And you know what? I think that's so fair. And whoever picks him, kudos if he gets that far, because like that would be insane. That would be so
get
wild.
On everyone's last nerve. If that's if they don't already recognize him.
He said, I'm done best in small doses. And I'm like, that is just not how you should introduce yourself on the show.
I think I have him going past making it at least to jury, if not first out in jury. I think that he will do fine, but he's going to get annoying. It's just going to be about that time.
Do you mean jury or merge? Because jury doesn't start necessarily.
Jury.
Cool. No, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. No, I have him going to at least to jury, but I do feel like he is going to be the production pet. We'll get the most confessionals out of him.
I don't think he lost enough weight. I mean that in all kindness. When we're I looked at how much like he changed between when he left and when he came back, and it didn't look like a ton.
Like pre-recording.
Okay. So he came back and I watched.
I thought you were meaning like lost enough weight in prep for the show, and I was like, "That's a thing."
I get that. No, I get that. Oh, if anything, he bulked up, and no, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to body shame or anything.
I get what you mean. So you mean like he wasn't there long enough to lose?
Right, to lose a significant amount. Now he could. Now, he does move faster though. So I mean, maybe my read is off, because a lot of times I'm thinking about like the 39 days versus the 28. But I mean, Charlie lost like 20 pounds on 26 days. So. Maybe that was just a misread on my part. But it didn't look like he had a huge physical change in the 5 weeks. But that was just me. But who knows? I could be misreading. I think he's going to be so fun, though.
I'm excited to see him play. I'm excited to see the diary room, whatever we're going to call it, sessions. Confessionals. Yeah, I'm excited to see that. I think he's going to get on people's nerves very quickly. I don't think it's going to be merger. I think it's going to be like when Jeff Probst comes out and introduces people, however he introduces himself is going to piss everyone. They're going to be like, kind of like Emily.
I agree.
What the heck?
Yeah, but Emily, that's what I said. Like Emily came out hot and
aggressive.
But
But it worked out. Then
it worked. Well, not just resolved. It never really resolved because she stayed that way for a long time. But she was also kept as a shield because they're like, well, if she's still here, and I feel like that could, look at Angela.
She grew as a player. Emily
she did.
Watched her grow as a person and as a player that season.
Yeah.
I feel like she really reflected on what she had done. And she realized that it was rubbing people wrong. So, but anyways, I'm really excited. What do you think?
That's great. That's great. What do you think, Sammy? I don't know if we've heard from you about John Lovett.
I wrote down first kick. So he was my very last choice. So I'm all for it.
That was Sammy. You guys not. I have 2 names with first boot next to them, and they are the 2 names left.
Oh,
really? So
okay. So now we can talk about our pick, right?
So to be clear, for people who are not who don't know who's left, we have 2 people left. Allie and I are going to pick one, and whoever is left over, Sammy and Sarah will have on their winner's draft list. And the 2 people are Genevieve and Rome. I've already kind of weighed in on Genevieve. I'd like to know what you're thinking before I jump back in with some other thoughts.
I agree. We pretty much agreed with the Genevieve thing. The only thing I would add about Genevieve is I like that she's from Canada, and I just feel like Canadians are happy.
They are.
And then Rome, I'm leaning towards us picking Rome just because, like you said, she might be chaotic, and she's either going to be chaotic or she's going to shock us. And
I think it's either chaotic good or chaotic bad, and I just don't know.
Rome, I think what might be the stronger player. I really don't think. I'm going to disagree with Sarah that I think Rome could potentially be a stronger player than.
I'm torn. Part
he
of
has the potential.
So I really like his gusto and that his ability, like his want to, his gusto, like his real interest in wanting to play hard. Like he anticipates playing like Ozzy. He identifies with Sean Rector and Todd Herzog. Like those are huge, huge names. Obviously, they're going to go with big names, but it's interesting to see who they pick for those names. And those are really, really like core strategic socially strategic players. It's really interesting. He also has an anyone but me mentality, which I'm just like I'm a little worried about, but we have reservations on both.
And he's like an esports commenter or something like that. He's working esports, so he's going to be, I think, loud and proud. That could rub people wrong initially, but I think that I'm just going off of looks, I guess, on this one. I think that he might actually be able to help his tribe win the competitions. I do think that he.
Is this y'all's pick, or you still discussing?
Still talking. I think that they are they're both on the same tribe, so it's like we don't even. I was hoping that we would have like 2 different tribes so we could so. But that is a stronger tribe. I think yellow is obviously the weakest one. So, I mean, if we had a yellow, I would have been like, let's just not.
No.
But, I don't know.
My other concern about
I think red's the weakest.
Wait, which one's Gata? That's yellow, right?
I think red is going to be the one that's hitting tribal council the most in the beginning. I think blue's going to be winning all the challenges. I feel like yellow's going to be the unspoken,
I could see red and yellow going back and forth depending on who the challenges they're presented and how people perform.
Challenges they're presented.
Of it?
So we have Luvo. Is that what it is? Luvo, Gata, and Tuku. Are those our?
If you're watching live, you can actually see them on the page now.
I don't know the tribe names.
Yeah, I just wrote the names, not the colors. So okay, so let me just tell you. So Gata, let's see, which one's Sam? What color is Sam?
Yellow.
Yellow.
Okay, so yellow is Gata. I felt like Gata, most except for Sam, everyone was pretty, and of course John Lovett. Everyone was really low on my list because I thought that was but you guys all picked those people quickly, so that's when I was like, oh, that's low on my list. Oh, that's low on my list. So that was my opinion, but.
We had lots of early boots from our top picks last year. So
yeah,
sometimes top picks don't mean shit.
So Red, I don't know. Anyway,
Red just gives me such a chaos vibe. And I think I'm just trying to figure out, looking at that tribe, who they would side with if these two were the picks to go home. Like if it was like we have to pick between Rome and Genevieve.
I think Genevieve might come on very strong. And I think that might make her a target. I feel like she's gonna come on like similar to
okay. I think I'm good with picking Rome then with you. I think that that's a solid pick. So with that, so we are gonna be picking Rome, myself and Allie, and this leaves Genevieve for Sammy and Sarah's list. Sarah, you look like you have feelings.
I have a lot of feelings. Rome, I put him as first boot. I think he was just doing the most.
I do feel like he's just doing a lot.
He's going to be doing the most. I think I'll know within the first 10 minutes of the episode if he's going home, because I feel like he's going to come in hot and they'll probably like, this is all you're going to see of him because he goes home this episode. So like, we're just going to throw all this stuff at you. So like, that's what I'm kind of watching for him. Now Genevieve, same thing. At 2, not just the variety. I can't remember the other one was, but not just variety. Completely fucking left her out of the meet the tribe altogether, which to me is a really bad omen. Yeah. I just feel like that's a really bad omen when they're like, meet the 18 castaways in Survivor 47, and I went through twice counting it, like this is 17. Who did they forget? They forgot Genevieve. Genevieve did. So let me show you, like, even in the slideshow, guys, we have where I got these photos from. We don't even have a full body shot of Genevieve because I had to Google her to find like her beach pose, and this is all I could find.
Which
it's not a good sign.
Which article was it that left her off?
The one I put in the chat. It was the variety meet and it had all their bios and their completely left off altogether. And I was like, that's not a good look. But on top of that, like I went and watched her oh my god, little interview videos or whatever. Yeah. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. These are beeping at me. I put Genevieve. Yeah. First boot, feelings, not even on the interviews. I feel like, people are going to like, the fans are going to like her, but I just feel like she's just not going to be able to find her footing.
So nothing that when you said that you couldn't find her on your article, I hadn't run into that issue on all the ones that I had looked at. So that was a first for me. So I didn't feel like it was a red flag, but it is a red flag now that I know they left her off of one. I'm just wondering if that really is a bad omen or if it was just a boo-boo. Mm-hmm. But I agree with you on
it. Could mean absolutely nothing. But to me, because it's pre-recorded and because just like I'm just kind of always reading into like way too fucking much all the time.
As someone who works in the media, I think it could have just been an accident, because what you do is you get the packages and you like put them you basically drag and drop and you put all the information that you were given into your article, and then just kind of let it go. And I actually, when I was doing my process of taking notes, I accidentally lost like multiple people because I was like, oh, I want to move them up here, I want to move them down here, and I would delete them by accident. And then I went through and like, wait, where's Saul? Where didn't I not have him? And I'll only count 17 people. So I think it could have been that, but I don't necessarily judge that you're a little wary about it because I also don't know how it was set up, like how they received their information. So it'd be really interesting to know that. So real quick, let's run through who everybody has picked. And then, so we're going to go one by one. We'll go through Sarah's, then Sammy's, then mine, then Allie's. And we'll kind of just give our general thoughts on how they do. And I know you guys are going to rip me apart. So we'll just, I get it. We'll be fine. I'll take the L. Just kidding. All right, let's start with Sarah. So Sarah's list consists of Kyle, Tiana, Sierra, Sam, and Genevieve. I think it's a pretty strong list. I think the one that I'd be most concerned about is Sam. But I think you did another really strong selection.
I'm really pumped about it.
I agree. Tiana is what hurt me the most during your selection for sure.
Well, you hurt her with Asia.
Yeah, you hurt me with Asia, and I will go on record because one day when Asia and I are besties, I'll tell her like I wanted you on my draft, but
not first. Make sure you tell her that. Just not first.
All right, listen.
She was your second choice.
She would have respected me for that move, though.
Sure. No, I'm just kidding. Then we have Sammy. Sammy has Aisha, Rachel, Caroline, Annika, and Genevieve. You quite literally have all women selected.
Yep.
I love that.
You could have been stuck with Rome, and you have an all women. And I'm not saying that about Rome in any way, but like
it came down to we weren't.
Look,
we didn't get to choose.
This year is the year for women in reality TV. Ariana Maddox walked so that the rest of reality TV can run. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Trying to think. If I were to pick somebody that concerned me the most out of your group, it would be Rachel. No offense to you and your homegirl. I think she's the one that has the most question marks for me, not necessarily red flags.
No, I don't disagree.
Any other thoughts on his? No? Cool. Well, then mine are Andy, Sue, Gabe, Kishan, and Rome.
It is wild to me that everyone on your draft list are the ones that I put X's next to.
Which is fair, but I mean, I always go back to
I love this for us.
I look back at the last draft and it kind of reminds me of how on different pages we were for that as well. Because like some of the picks that we had, both of us made really good picks because of that, and also both made some like not so great picks. And I think I'm so curious to see. I love doing this because I love seeing how our initial gut reaction actually plays out when it comes to these.
I don't want to beat a dead horse or anything, but I'm concerned with this Gabe choice.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I tried to go with my gut and it was wrong.
We talked about this for a long time, so we don't have to like recap or anything. I just want to say that one last time. I am also not thrilled about Andy. I don't know why, but I don't know if I agree with the Andy pick. But other than that, like I love the Keyshawn pick. I love that pick. I think
that's a good one.
I'm surprised that he got so low, even for myself. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's interesting to see how these dynamics are with this entire cast.
Yeah.
And then Allie's list is Teeny, TK, Soul, John, and Rome.
I just want to say that everyone on my list is in my top 5, with the exception of Rome, who was number 9. The only person missing from my top 5 list is Sue. She was number 2.
I love her. I'm
Teeny
so excited I got her.
I had Teeny number 1, Sue number 2, TK was number 3, Soul was 4, and John was actually 5.
I love that for you, honestly.
I thought, you know what? If no one else is gonna go with it, I'll pick the man.
I love it, and hopefully,
I'm excited.
No shade to John either. Like, love you, but it's gonna be interesting.
I'm very excited to see what happens with Teeny.
Yeah, I am too. Well, Teeny is one that I was teetering on. Of she's either gonna go really far or just not
really
at all.
Early. Yeah.
I feel like we keep saying that about so many players because we're just like, I don't know. It could go this way, it could go that way. So
none of us want to admit that we likely have people who are going to be pre-merge boots.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll admit, Gabe's probably mine, so it's okay. I'll kick things off. Can't believe I picked him over Soul right now. But oh well.
I'm so glad I got Soul. He was number 4 because I didn't think I would get him. So I was like, I'll put him number 4. And I was pleasantly surprised.
Love it. So before we wrap up, we actually do not have a prize picked out. So anybody who is listening, we would love to know if you have any suggestions. We'll probably solidify
It was
the prize.
at this moment that I'm sorry. I thought I shared this. I do have one. I do have a prize
on it yet, but we could totally do it.
Okay, well, I found a Tiki Torch trophy, and I thought that would be.
I love it.
A fun winner prize.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because the question was going to be, do we also, is there punishment for whoever selected the first
I
boot?
was just going to say we should decide a punishment.
I think right here, right now, we can totally openly discuss.
So here's my question, though. How do we decide who the loser is? Is it just the ranking of, like, how does this draft work? Is it whoever has the least amount of, like, how does it work?
I was just thinking
I have a point system.
Point system? Okay, I like that.
Yeah, I have a point system.
Well, I would have picked differently, Diane.
Oh, yeah, I the same point system that we're using this year for Big Brother. It's a little different, less complicated because there's not as we don't have the veto and stuff like that, but it does have to do with being on the right side of the tribal votes and winning challenges and immunity idols and stuff like that. So I use it. There's a bracketology app, and it's a very similar, easy to score point system that I was going to do for this one.
Sounds what if good. The loser has to camp in their backyard for a night?
I don't have a backyard.
I have a backyard, but I don't camp.
Well, yeah,
sleep on my air mattress.
Like Big Brother, when Chemo was like, I think we're glamping. I wouldn't even want to do that. I don't want to be. I'm sorry. I'm out, but we're gonna have to go to the backyard.
Fair.
I even have a fire pit out there, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing it.
I love it. Well, if anybody has thoughts on how the winner is always selected by whoever has picked the actual winner of the game. So the
loser has to buy their partner a buff. Meaning, like that. If I lose, I buy Sammy a buff, or if you lose, yeah.
But doesn't Abigail already own a buff?
I don't. But it would be the one from season 47.
Oh, okay.
They will put them up on the store this year.
True. I agree with that.
Agree.
Sounds great.
So winner gets a trophy, and then loser buys their partner a buff.
Okay, I like that. Any final thoughts before we wrap up this episode? This has been so much fun.
This was a lot of fun.
Could there be a tie?
What?
Is a tie possible?
No.
Okay.
Because because Rome and Genevieve are not winning the season. So
fair. Sarah,
watch us eat shit on that though. Watch us eat shit on that. 127:38. I swear that is the marker in this recording. We need to save that, run it back if we want to bite off or eat our words. Cut that clip right now.
I'm so excited to see how that goes. This is such a fun cast. They've been doing such great casting lately, and it's just like previous drafts. It would be so easy to be like, these are the people who are going to really succeed. These are the ones that you can just pretty much pull out as not, and it's so fun to have such great diversity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited. So with that, is there anything else you guys want to say before I run down my little spiel?
No. But y'all are locked in with us. Y'all have to cover Survivor with us every week now for the.
I mean, I'll definitely be watching it.
But this does wrap up this episode of Wicked Unscripted. So if you like what you hear, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. All of us are on TikTok. If you are watching, you can actually see our little tags down here. You can find us at Ghostbusters Sammy, at Sarah Talks Reality, at It's Abigail Adams, and at reality_Allie. We are all posting there still for Big Brother, and I know at least Sarah and I, and I'm sure you guys will be too, posting plenty about Survivor as this season goes along. The season premieres Wednesday at 8 p.m. I'm excited. It's also Big Brother and Survivor overlap season, so it's going to be so much fun. But if you want to ask us a question, share your thoughts, or leave us a tip, email the podcast at wickedunscriptedpod, pod@gmail.com for more. We're always looking for fresh and diverse voices to join the conversation. And with that, we will see you next time. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.